Good morning, everyone. Good morning, world. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello there. Greetings, wonderful Up You community. Welcome to another edition of your favorite female centric program, Up You with Ezine. This is actually the last one for the month of November. Yippee! Great. Oh, wow. How you all doing? How you all doing? How's everyone this morning? How does it feel to just be 32 days away from 2024? Yes, you didn't count? Now I'm telling you, it's just 32 days to the end of the year. Are you taking stock of your year? Are you disrupting yourself? Are you ready? Dotting your I's and crossing your T's? Well, today we are wrapping up our disruption series with this episode. We hope this episode will snap out anyone who is still sitting on the fence about building resilience for navigating the life of our dreams. We can dream all we want, we can do all we want, but you see, life will be life and life will throw the curves it will throw. And so we need to build resilience for the journeys ahead. Is that up you are, and I'm here to keep you company as usual. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is Ezineku Frekanem, and I'm your host. The topic today is upscaling resilience, lessons for the woman-owned SME. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to challenges, and thrive in the face of adversity. Women entrepreneurs often face unique obstacles and barriers in business world, making resilience a crucial quality to cultivate. In this discussion, we will explore the concept of resilience and how it can be applied to women-owned small and medium enterprises to foster growth and success. Welcome, everyone. Please settle in nicely. Be kind to follow us on all our social media platforms at Up You with Ezine on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We'd love to connect with you and keep this conversation going long after this episode has ended. And please like the stream. It's one way you help our ministry so we can continue to serve you. The topic today is upscaling resilience lessons for the women-owned SMEs. May I remind you that all episodes of Up You with Ezine are on our YouTube channel and podcast channels. Be sure to follow us and don't miss a thing. We'd like for you to participate and contribute your thoughts and opinions to the conversation, so stay with us as I bring up our guest who is already in the studio. Yes, 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 yes. If you're just joining us, this is Up You with Ezine, and the topic today is upscaling resilience, lessons for the women-owned SME. It's time to bring up our guest. Dr. Genevieve, where are you?
I'm right here.
Good. It's time to bring up our guest. Your head has she's right here. So our guest today is Dr. Genevieve Duncan Obuobi, a passionate and collaborative African business leader dedicated to the development of individuals and the empowerment of women and youth in the realm of leadership and entrepreneurial growth, with a focus on customer experience and leadership strategy. She is also a sought after SME consultant, global speaker, coach, and mentor. She is driven by the mission of helping women led businesses achieve scalability through capacity building, business to business coaching, international exposure, and leadership development. Boasting an impressive 18-year tenure in the service industry, she has acquired extensive experience in relationship management, team leadership, business development, and bank branch management. Her commitment to excellence has earned her multiple awards in banking and finance, people skills, authorship, coaching and mentoring, and women and youth economic empowerment. Acknowledged as one of the 100 most impactful change makers in Africa by the Humanitarian Awards Global 2022 and recognized among the 40 most influential female leaders in Ghana, by Young Global Network in 2020. She is a staunch advocate of Sustainable Development Goals SDGs 5, 7, 8, and 17. She holds a doctorate degree from Swiss Business School, Zurich, MBA in Marketing from University of Ghana, and a bachelor's degree in Business Administration from GIMPA. She's certified by Harvard, USA, Cranfield, UK, and CEIBS Shanghai for executive training, executive education. She is currently the lead consultant at Tarragon Edge, Ghana, and a business development consultant at Crucible Afrique LLC, Dubai. Everyone, please join me in welcoming the tenacious Dr. Genevieve Obuobi to the show today.
Thank you so much. I mean, listening to you read my profile, I'm smiling because today I love the fact that we are talking about resilience. All the accolades and all the great things that you're mentioning about me, there is a factor of resilience in that because it wasn't an easy road. So, to everyone out there, it might sound like a great profile, but it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of resilience. So I'm happy today we are speaking about resilience. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Everyone on the call this morning, she's joining us today from the US of A. And if you have an idea of the time difference, you will really give her a warm, warm welcome. So please type in your welcome so that she can see it and know that this sacrifice she's making is appreciated by every one of us. If you're just joining us, this is Up You with AZ Nation, and today we're discussing upscaling resilience lessons for the women-owned SMEs. Frankly, Genevieve, I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you so much. Are
You're
you
welcome.
ready?
Yes, I'm happy to be here as well.
Good. Okay, so let me just start by saying, could you please share your perspective on today's topic of scaling resilience and why does it resonate with you?
Thank you so much. Just as I started by saying, I mean, I think it's been a long journey. It hasn't been an easy road. There has been great challenges on the path of going. Um, Women, as we all know, go through different phases of life. And I've had my fair share of all the phases, career wise, going to school, managing a home, losing my first marriage, having a lot of miscarriages, and all that. I'm sure if not for the fact that I was very resilient and I was intentional about being resilient, I'm not sure I would have come this far. I'm sure just by your definition, the ability, and I want to add not just the ability, but also how easily and how timely we are able to bounce back from any setback. So it resonates so well with me because I have not just encountered different challenges on the path of growth, but I've also seen and felt very close people go through the same thing. So I realized that, look, I'm not alone. What do I need to do? All I need to do is to keep the focus. And I think that is why I am very passionate about seeing a lot of women. The word I use is financially empowered, not just empowerment, not just telling you to be empowered and showing you the ways to get empowered, but I want to help you to grow wealth. I want you to be financially empowered. And I'm sure that is why we are all women in business. And that is why today we are going to have this interesting conversation. So be our guest.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Um, it's amazing, you know, the depth of living and experience that you're bringing to this conversation. When I asked you to come on the show, I asked you on the strength of what I know that you've been doing on the continent and outside of the continent. And now you have even now brought a personal stamp to say, I've done this, I've lived it, I know what it means to be resilient. So I'm not going to be teaching you what I do not know or what I have not done. Thank you very much. So you were defining resilience there
Mm.
way back then. So can you please give us a full definition so that we can use that and run with it?
Okay. So I would love to define it Maybe I'll say I would love to use 3 words to define resilience.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is the ability to adapt. Like we all know, the
Mm-hmm.
world is changing at a very fast rate, and you cannot, the word is you cannot afford not to be adaptable. And I always use the scenario of I'm sure as women, we all know how it is like growing up. We love to wear the heels and we love to look good. No matter how tall you are, when you wear heels, you look very good in it. And it calculates, I use the word, it calculates your steps. When you wear a flat sole, it pushes you the way you walk, it's quite faster. So I always use the scenario of wearing heels. Today, if about 20 years ago, when I started probably my banking career in my corporate life, if I was wearing 4 inches, it reduced to about 3 inches to 2. Now I'll say I wear one, or maybe worst case scenario, if I'm not walking too long, if the distance of walking is not too long, I can manage a 2. But I won't try wearing a 4 inches, not for anything in the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that is for me adaptability. The fact that you reckon that times are changing and you need to change with time. So
With
that is
time.
the first word I want to use when I am defining resilience. The second word is flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
How flexible are you as a person? And it goes hand in hand with adaptability. How are you able to adapt to new ways of doing things? How are you able to align to different strategies just to make sure that you achieve a very great result in a timely manner? And then the last word I would use is, do you have the learning attitude? Are you able to quickly learn from mistakes, from challenges, from setbacks, and get going? And these are the ways I want to look at explaining or trying to define, because you've already given us the, I'll say the definition, the real definition. But I'm looking at it from the practicality of what we are talking about. So how easily are we able to adapt from a setback? How flexible are we? And also, how willing are we to learn from our mistakes and our challenges and move on?
Thank you very much. So the 3 key words we're working with today are adaptability, flexibility, and learning. How
Exactly.
adaptable are you to circumstances?
Hmm.
How flexible are you? Are you rigid? Are you stuck in your ways?
Hmm.
And then how much of a learner are you? And how fast do you learn from your mistakes, challenges, setbacks? Take the lessons, reapply them, cross apply them, and keep moving.
That's it.
Honestly, spot on. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
very much.
It's a
Thank you.
pleasure. You're welcome. We all learn.
So, yes, we all learn every day, and you teach in such a way that is so easy to follow. Because I mean, I have to pass myself through this litmus test now and say, what's my adaptability quotient? What's my
Exactly.
flexibility quotient?
Mm,
And what the capacity to learn, unlearn, and relearn that I
that's
have
it.
packed in over the years, and I'm willing to pack in going forward, because that is what determines whether I'm going to bounce back from setbacks and grow resilience as I forge
Perfect.
ahead. Interesting. So, can you tell us specifically when you realized that you were cut out to focus on upscaling resilience for
Mm,
women-owned SMEs? When did you realize that this is more than something you are interested in, that this is a calling, this is where you should put in your all?
great. So I started a little bit of intro about myself. I would say most times a lot of us are not able to identify our purpose on time. But
Mm-hmm.
thanks be to God if you are able to. And so for me, by God's grace, I think at an early stage, because of the support system I had, the coaches I had, the mentors I was looking up to, I was really privileged to identify my purpose quite early. So I think I became a bit more aligned to the fact that, look, resilience is one of the key attributes I need to survive in this world,
Mm,
especially when I had 8 consistency. I mean, it was just consistent, back to back. Every year, at least one miscarriage. So after those years, I mean, as normal as we all are, we get hit by issues of life. And I was really hit. But I remember my dad gave me a book called Attitude is Everything by Kate Harrell. And for
I've
me,
read that book.
yes, for me, that was, I'll say, my turnaround. I said to myself, like, hey, girl, you don't have control over the things that you are encountering in life, especially things to do with childbearing, marriage issues, and all that. What do you do? Would you focus on what is happening to you now, or you just look ahead and hope that by God's grace, because I believe in God, whatever you believe in, stay close to it. So I believe in God. So I'm like, by God's grace, at least when he thinks it is time for him to bless you with the things he needs to bless you with. So what did I do? I started channeling that negative pain, the focus. I channeled it positively after reading that book and speaking to my dad extensively. And then I started the path of learning. And learning takes so much part of your mind that I would say you will not even get time to worry, because I went back to school. I was doing my MBA. I need to write exams. I need to pass my classwork. So where on earth am I going to sit in the room and cry? And I just want to say that strong women, they say, we also break down. We also go in a room and cry. We weep. We will grab a coffee, go in the room, cry. I will say, go to the throne room, talk to my God, but I have to bounce back. I don't have to stay down there for too long. I have to remember that, look, you don't have control. Leave it to the one who has control and move on with your life. So at that point of my life, and this is about, I'll say about how many years ago? Maybe 13, 15, 16, 17, it can even be 20 years ago. The focus is that stay close to what you have control over. Quickly turn around or churn negativity into positivity and move ahead. And that is how come I have been a bit focused on this journey of being resilient and also helping my fellow women, especially those in business, to also stay very focused and very resilient in their journey.
Thank you again. And I don't even know what to say to you. But isn't it amazing that out of our adversity, most times we find purpose, you know? So that's where your third point of learning comes to play. Because when adversity befalls you, if you turn it into a learning curve, you will better ride it and then you come out stronger. I
Perfect.
am very happy that you are stronger today and that you're able to talk about it.
Thank
Better
you.
things ahead of you. Yeah?
Amen. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yes. Okay. So in your experience, I mean, spanning quite a bit, um, what are the common challenges that women-owned SMEs face in building resilience and how can they overcome it?
Thank you so much. I'll say that building resilience, definitely, like any other thing you're trying to build, comes with its own challenges. But
Mm,
first of all, as women, the mindset is very important. So, like I rightly
mm,
said, churning negativity into positivity, be open minded,
mm,
understand that, look, like they say, life will throw at all of us, at every phase, life will throw a particular challenge to us. They say when life give you lemons, make what? Lemonade out of it. So definitely you need to stay positive minded. That is the first thing I want us to say. That the challenges will hit us. The challenges are there. But let's be focused. One of the key challenges I will put across is that as women, we take care of what? The home. And the home
mm,
is not just our children and our husbands. So many other people call our home their home as well. So we are ever taking care of issues at home, making sure that everything works out perfectly in the home. That is one key challenge because you see, we spread ourselves thin. The first thing I want to say here is that instead of spreading yourself thin, have a support system. Like you
Mm.
rightly said, with all I do, I'm not sure without a keen support system I can survive. Because one minute you're here, the next minute you're doing this here, the next minute you're there. If for the fact that I don't have a support system can be anyone. It can be your family member. It can be like in my case, fortunately, I have my mom, my dad, and my siblings. So I have them at home. In the event where you don't have, don't relent to ask for help. We are not super women. I want to say that. Yes, we've had that phrase of being versatile, being able to juggle so many things, but we are not super women. We are just like the ordinary human being. Just that by God's own way, the way He created women, we can do so many things at the same time, multitasking. However, don't fail to ask for help. That is the first thing. Most times women fail to ask for help because we feel
Mhm.
we have all it takes to get it done. I have been there, but I realized it wasn't helpful. So let's ask for help. The second point I would put across is that as women, we are not able to collaborate enough. You see, the world is changing rapidly, like I said, and you cannot afford to do it all by yourself. Yes, I can do it all by myself. I can get the results I want. But my dear, it's easier when I do it with you because the risk is shared. So whereas men will just go and just discuss an issue and Charlie will laugh about it, we all made mistakes and so what? We move on. Women will keep to ourselves. We don't want to the third person to even hear our story because yes, we all know the issue with trust and people having a very CNN kind of mouth. So by the time you realize something you discussed has already gone out there. So women are quite careful. So that is also one of the key challenges. We are not able to collaborate enough. We are not, our risk appetite most times is lower because you see, we are thinking about what if, what if, what if, what if this happens? How does it affect my home? What if this happens? How does my reputation become? You know, we think about so many things that sometimes are not even going to happen. But that is the makeup of a woman. I would say it is okay for us to be to be very keen on some of the things that we do, but don't stay too far away and don't be too laid back. Don't be too risk averse. Open up to opportunities. Open up to making mistakes. After all, what is it? When you make mistake, nobody will beat you for it and bounce back quickly. So probably I'll use maybe these three scenarios. So the first one I spoke about is we having an open mind. Just stay open minded. Don't be fixated in your thoughts. Most times, a lot of us are too fixated. The second one is also to do with the fact that we don't collaborate enough. We think that, look, I can do it all by myself, the superwoman issue. And then the third thing I would like to talk about is that remember that, look, you have what it takes. Have the confidence. We are most times not confident enough because we all have some level of imposter syndrome. So sometimes you feel I cannot get it done. I don't have what it takes. Why is this me? Why should I be the one doing this? But you should be the one doing it because you can't do it. That is why it is coming to you for you to do it. So the challenges are a lot because of our setup and culturally how women are seen in, let's say, our societies. But I would say that, look, we've gone past such issues. Now we have an enabling environment. So let's ride upon the enabling environment, the fact that everybody is drumming the woman empowerment thing. Let's also ride on that and come out from our shells and let's give off our best for ourselves, our homes, communities, and the nations as a whole.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I
Yeah.
told I when I was putting out notice for this conversation, I said everyone should come in here because it's going to be a boot camp that will reboot you and put you on the straight path to be able to tackle your 2024, and it's proving to be correct. You know, you're giving out nuggets that will actually save lives, literally save lives, and give people perspective. So when you talk about open mindset, I would narrow down to say have a growth mindset. Believe that you can grow and seek growth in everything that you do. Because sometimes what happens to some of us women is that we're running round and round and round, we're busy, but we are not growing. We're still standing in the same place. We're not productive. But because we're busy, we think that we're growing. So we need to develop, a growth mindset to be able to measure growth in ourselves and in our businesses. And that bit about supportive network, we all need it, even me. We all need to go and ask for help. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Now, I remember I was having a conversation with you, and I was saying to you that statistics show that post COVID, um, female owned businesses were really worse hit. A lot of them closed shop. And 3 years on, they haven't been able to rebound.
Nice there.
You know, if you remember the 3 steps you gave to us before, they haven't been able to adapt to the fact that COVID happened to them. They're not flexible enough in their business to say, how else can I do this? And they haven't learned enough to say, okay, I can now carry my business online or do this
This
or do
way,
that or do that.
exactly.
So you see, women are still suffering, and we're a lot. Is our numbers are massive, and unlike the men, a man will go to a pub, sit down, and then tell the next guy, "Oh boy, how far? Business no they move." Oh. And that one say, "What do they do?" Then they will actually just talk and they will share, and that one can even say, "Ah, we need your services."
That's
But a
it.
woman is closed up, nursing her thing, because even her business she sees as a baby of hers, nursing it. She's not willing to open it up,
For
you
others to
know.
even come in or
to-
come on board.
exactly. She doesn't even want anybody to, she's afraid that, she prefers to have 100% of nothing than
Than
having
a zero point
1%
zero 0.01.
of
I even say
ex-
0.01 of a multi-million
exactly.
dollar investment or like a business, you know.
Exactly. Please, can you speak to this this character or this attitude or attribute of
Yeah,
women?
I think it will all boil back down to the fact that we are not able to collaborate enough. And like I rightly
True.
said, we are not able to collaborate enough, not because we don't want to, but it is
Hmm.
because of past experiences. People have been let down. A lot of people cannot trust the next person, you know. So trust is a key issue. But like you rightly said, men also go through the same phases. But you see, men are able to let go of easily rather than women. Men are able to define that this is business. So instead of focusing too much, what I would say is that as women, let's be structure oriented. Whatever you do, put a system and a structure to it. So whereas maybe in time past we would do word of mouth agreements, now put it on paper. This is business. So it has
Hmm.
nothing to do with my personal life. It is business, and business needs to transcend me. Business needs to be sustainable. So you see, once you get these understanding, what happens is that you don't go into any business contract, any business agreement by word of mouth. You document it. Even if it's your husband, you document it. If it's your mother, you put a document in place. Because you see, the whole point is that if I can't trust you, and I can't trust the next person, it keeps me off opening up. So instead of being growth oriented, I become fixated that everybody's like this. So that alone will push you away from even talking to the next person about your business. Like you said, men will just go and play golf or will just take a bottle of beer or some bottles of drinks and then talk about their issues, and then here they go, solutions come. Women, when we meet, we hardly even want to talk about our issues because we don't want anybody to know. So the collaboration bits, for me, I think we need to focus more on it. Another thing about collaboration too is that, you know, in this day and age, I use the word, the two C's, right? So collaboration is C, competition is also C. I want
Hmm.
to reiterate that, look, as women, let's take competition off our minds. Yes, I might be in business with you. We might be doing the same thing. But listen, the point is, you are not a competition to me, even if you are a competition to me in a positive way. But this competition I'm talking about, taking out of our dictionary, is the competition that makes you feel that why shouldn't it be me? Why is it
That
Genevieve?
drains you.
You know, why is it Genevieve? If something comes up and I can mention Genevieve's name for her to get that job to be done, and for her to look back and say, oh, because of Eze, I was able to get this job done. So that relationship becomes tighter. I know you have my back. When I'm not there, you are able to mention me in the boardroom. That is how women should start thinking. So replace the competition with collaboration or cooperation or coordination, whatever you want to replace the C with, but forget the competition bit. Because you see, once you understand that I'm not in competition, when you go to probably Lagos market, I don't know your particular your well-known market, but let's say in my
Balogun market.
country, Balugu market, in my country, I say when you go to Makola or when you go to Agbogloshi, you see like 10 women selling exactly the same things.
The same thing on the same
They're all
line.
there.
Yeah.
They are all there, whether they are friends or not, they are all there. If you look at even hotels, when a hotel is fully booked, a hotel recommends the next hotel.
Mm-hmm.
When we
Mm-hmm.
adopt this small little strategies in our businesses and realize that, look, Genevieve, I have all it takes to get this coaching done. But you know, if I get to you and I speak to you and I say that, look, I'm overbooked. It's weighing me down. It's stressing me. Why won't you take this part and I take this part? We build a connectivity, or we build some kind of collaboration that what happens is that tomorrow we can take bigger projects and work together and share the what do you call it, the investment returns that comes on it. So all I want to say is that let's be a bit open-minded. The word keeps coming, open-minded, growth-oriented. Look for opportunities in trying to shun away from what keeps us staying still at the back and thinking that, look, she doesn't have my back, so why do I need to even have hers? Forget about the other person. Do what you think is right and get moving. Other people will learn and we'll get a ripple effect as women in business. And we will get the support system built in such a way that I know I can count on you. You're in Nigeria, I'm in Ghana. I can count on you when I need something done for my business in Nigeria. I can expand beyond the jurisdiction of Ghana. I can go far beyond and have my businesses open in other places because of collaboration. So as women, let's try and focus more on how we can collaborate with our fellow women and forget competition. That is how I want to put it across.
Thank you very much. So the watchword, the word, the buzzword, the word that we should move forward with women is collaboration. Collaboration. And there's a question here from Lily. Lily says, so how do we go about collaborating? How do we find the right circle to collaborate with?
Thank you very much, Lily. So collaboration cannot just happen. Definitely you need some level of network. You need some level of support. You need some, I would call it support systems again. So as women in business, let me keep the focus on women in business. As women in business, one of the things we need to do is to go beyond our jurisdiction. Be in very valuable networks. You can join groups. I'm sure in Nigeria there are so many groups that you can join. Mm-hmm. That is one. You can go beyond Nigeria. Today, thanks be to internet, especially social media.
Technology.
You can just go on LinkedIn. You can, if it's you're a Facebook fan, you can be on Facebook and see 101 or millions of networks that you can join. The key word here is don't just join any network. Join valuable network. Network that gives you value or brings you value. That is the first thing. We can also look back and say that, okay, as we're growing, definitely you grew with people. You went to school. You've met different people on other work sites. You've met teams. You've worked with different suppliers if you're in business. Out of these people you meet, you need to develop something we call a relationship. Don't go to them when you need help. Develop
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Maintain. So I'm talking about developing, and I'm also using the word maintain.
Maintain, yeah.
Develop and maintain the relationship. I don't know you. We've met today through someone. How am I going to develop and maintain the relationship I have with you so that tomorrow, when I need something done in Nigeria, or when you need something done in the US, where I am partly based, in Dubai, where I have a few links, in Ghana, where I'm based, you can easily reach out to Dr. Genevieve and say, Dr. Genevieve, please get this done for me, or can you please help me do this? And pam, it is done. So you
Yeah.
see, you develop, maintain a relationship, and then you join valuable networks. Make sure that you are exposed to some good network, and don't abuse these network. Let me use that clause. Don't abuse the network. Build,
Mm-hmm.
maintain, but make sure that they are also getting value so that they don't feel overly used, that now you are calling them and they are shunning away. They don't even want to pick your calls.
Yeah.
So we can build collaboration in so many ways, and these are just a few of the ways we can build collaborations. I don't know if I've
Thank you very
answered you, Lillian.
Yeah, well, she's here. She will let us know if she got something from it. So thank you very much. I think you're very much on point. So we need to go out and look for networks that are valuable, that connect with our own consciousness and the visions that we carry and the dreams. Networks that look like they will take us to where we want to go to, and join them. And when we join, we add value so that they will consider us valuable people, and also be ready to pitch
That's
in
it.
for us, even when we are not in the rooms.
That
Yeah,
is it.
very, very critical. So now I'm going to take you back to where we're coming from. You know, when you were talking about documentation, documentation, documentation. It is also, I'm at a recent Women in Business conference that I attended. I sat next to a CEO of a telecom subsidiary here in Nigeria, and she was sharing her experience with me. She said that they have money to give to people, women, to start business. But she found out, even after they narrowed down and shortlisted and got to 1,000 women, and they wanted to give them some reasonable amount of money to start their businesses, they found that these women had no documentation. They
Okay.
have been in business, they're obviously doing business, but there is no documentation. There's no bookkeeping of any sort. And it became a problem. How do you now give money to people who do not have narration for what they have been doing? So, it just got me thinking that maybe the reason why women don't bounce back as quickly as the men do is because we go with our guts. We say we know what we're doing. We can see that we started with 500,000 and we now have 10 million. We're happy with it, but we can't plot that graph, to be able to convince the people who want to fund us.
Invest. Yeah.
And then, secondly, she said that the women said, because it was a loan, but a loan with a single digit interest rate
Interest
to
rate.
them, and they said they didn't want the loan, they wanted grants. They wanted money that you give
Me.
us outrightly. So they didn't want any money
I
risk
could pay
averse.
back.
Exactly. So why are women like this? And yet we're the first to complain that our businesses are going under.
You see, I always use the phrase that when it comes to leadership, there is no gender. The same way when it comes to business, there is nothing like a man can only be the one who can get businesses done right. Some men don't also have proper systems. They don't have proper documentation. Look, I've worked in the bank for close to 2 decades, and
Mm-hmm,
I've worked as a retail branch manager. So I
mm-hmm,
see different businesses, whether it is men businesses or women businesses. But this is what I want to say. You see, no investor would want to give you money when there is no trend, when there is no track record, when there is no history to say that, okay, this is how my business has been in the past. So going
mm-hmm,
forward, if I give X amount to this business, it means that the money can be used, turn around, and I can get an ROI of X amount or X plus two.
mm-hmm.
Nobody would give you money just for the fun of it. Even with the grants, they look out for certain things. So there should definitely be some sort of system in place. And I always use the S cube approach, especially for women. Anytime you want to start any kind of business, look, even if it's just a tabletop business today, think locally, but grow globally. Think locally. That yes, today I'm starting this business in Lagos. I would want to expand in the next 3 years into maybe 6 or 8 places or states in Lagos. But in the 5th year, I would want to go beyond Lagos. Let's say Ghana, I would want to come to Ghana. The key thing is once you have the sustainability approach, you start right. So my S cube approach is the first one is not just having the idea, but starting the business. Starting the business, scaling up, and sustaining these businesses that we start. So the 3S, I call it the S cube approach. Whenever we adopt the S cube approach, what happens is that we know that, okay, in 5 years' time, we want to get to Ghana. So what do we do today? We start putting the right system. And when I say system, don't let us look far. Today, we all have phones, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You can actually just put information on your phone. Just send it to yourself. Let me put it like that. Send messages to yourself that, okay, today I bought X amount of this. I have sold 3. I'm left with 2. So this is how much I have made. See it as a simple text message to yourself. You don't need to go for a high-end accountant. You
can do that on WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp yourself.
Exactly. My point is I'm not going to go into Excel sheets and all that. I just want us to make it very simple. Because we are not on the same level. There are businesses that are very micro to the core. There are some businesses that are small. And even the small, we can define it into 3 or 4 different parts, So I want us to break it down because I'm sure the audience are diverse. So let's break it down. The point is that when you have these little records, I use the phone because we all have access to phone. It's not all of us who have access to computers. And we also have access to the old way of doing things, a book. Just have a book in your office or your shop. Rule your lines. Make sure that, okay, you know what you started with. You know what you've sold. You know what is left. Tomorrow you start again. By the end of the month, even if you don't need an accountant. I always say, you have friends, you have people, students who are looking for some sort of internship opportunities, students who are looking for opportunities to learn on the job. Adopt the strategy of adopting one student who is into probably accounting and finance in a school. You can just employ this person on a part-time basis. You don't need to pay him so much because it's give and take, win-win situation. You are giving him the opportunity to learn on the job. He's also giving you something in return. So once you are able to put basic systems in place, what happens is that you're not just keeping records for yourself, but also for the future. So looking at going to Ghana scenario, you know that, okay, I want to go to Ghana in 5 years. So when you look back, you can say that, oh, okay, this is how I started. This is how far I've come. Then it is also able to help you in the event where you need a little bit of assistance in a bank or from a bank. It is easier. The scenario you used, the money is available. I spoke 2 years ago in the UK and I was saying that the money is available. And they kept asking me, where is the money? Show us the money. And I said, look, there is so much money available internationally, locally. However, nobody would give you money because they like you. When it comes to business, we look at bookkeeping. We look at strategy. We look at the people behind the business. So there are so many things that we look at before an investor would say, take $10, 100 naira, 1,000 Ghana cedis to do your business or to grow your business. So my key word is let's put in basic. I use the word basic because let's start small. Let's put some sort of basic systems and structure in place. And just to add to it, you see, don't start your business and think that this is where you're going to stay forever. Think beyond. That's why I use the word think of starting locally, but grow globally. So you have the global mindset in place. Then you are able to put in the right systems and know that, look, tomorrow I will need investors. So let me put a small board in place. Now we are all talking about ESG, right? I'm sure you've all heard of ESG, environmental,
Yeah.
social, and governance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not just doing business ethically, but you're also thinking of how can people help me? And that is where the support system will come in again. Getting coaches, getting mentors, getting people who have been there to assist you and guide you on the journey. I will charge you small money to coach you and to make sure that you're doing the right business. I can also give it for free. It depends on who I'm dealing with. But don't be too focused on free things, because free things sometimes it's not what you need. If you
You
need,
don't run with it.
yes, we can do it for free. It depends on the impact I want to have or where I'm doing it and the pro
No, I'm
bono
saying if
systems
you
I
keep
have put
getting
in place.
freebies, if you keep getting freebies, you really not get to the meat of things, because I mean there's a limit to what you
What
learn if
can be
I'm teaching
given
you
for
free.
free, exactly,
Yeah.
but my point is that let's try and invest in ourselves. Let's try and invest in the businesses we want to see. I'm sure we all want to see our businesses become like a Dan Gote's business. We want to see a Tony Lumelu business. We want to see businesses that are transcending generations, right? And in so doing, you cannot afford to start with that mindset of I'm just doing it hand to mouth. No, put the right systems in place. Have the 3S or the S cube approach in mind anytime you decide to kickstart an entrepreneurial journey. That is how I want us to look at it as women, especially.
Thank you very much. What you've just done now is break down a business class. Um, you've just practically taught us what we require to get funding into our businesses. We must do bookkeeping, no matter how elaborate or how inelaborate. We must have something that tells the story of what we do every day in our business, you
Exactly.
know. And if we want to run or build businesses that transcend us, we have to start from day one. It's not, it doesn't happen like magic. You don't begin to say, oh, I'm doing a hand to mouth business. Once something comes, you eat it, something comes, you eat it, and then you think that by 50 years you find yourself in Ghana. It doesn't work like that. You start from day one to look at that business and see the projections. And in fact, by year three, you should know whether you'll be in Ghana by year five or not, following your
Yeah.
trajectory. So this is really very, 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 you've broken it down. And I for everyone on this live and for those who come after this, if you've been wondering why you've not been getting funding from your bank, she just told you. You need to decode it, but she just told you what the bankers will be looking at to be able to give you some assistance. So it is now up to you to ensure that you spend your first quarter in 2024 putting these things in place so that when you make that move to a bank or to a friend, you will be able to get what you need to be able to run with your life. So it's really, really interesting what you have just for us this morning. So I like the fact that you started with, you know, very basic uh women-owned businesses. But now let's up it a bit. Um, how can women-owned SMEs leverage on innovation and technology to
Thank you
bolster
so
their
much.
resilience and stay competitive?
Thank you. So, as we all know, post COVID, let me take it from post COVID. Post COVID, you cannot afford to say, I don't know how to do Zoom. I don't know how
Mm,
to sell online, because COVID has
mm,
taught us a very great lesson. I always say that, you see, things that we are doing today were done years back. There was something called Skype, right? There was
yes,
eBay long ago.
yes.
So these were there. It was being done in the developed world. I
Mm-hmm.
saw, I think in 2011, I had the opportunity to do a program in Harvard. And when I came back, I was telling my boss that, then I was at Fidelity. I was telling my boss that I think we can have flexi hours, because whilst in class, I realized that some of my friends who were working in UN were with us, but they were working. So they clock in and they're able to sit aside, work as if they are in the office. And then they'll go
Yes.
on break. They'll pause it when it's break time, when it's like time for lunch. They'll pause it and then they'll revisit the system again. So I realized that it's doable. I also saw that people were able to do what we are doing today, having a session, talking without being physically present. But you see, as at then, a lot of people did not understand what we're talking about. But
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, not thankfully, but I will say thankfully, because you see,
Yeah,
COVID, no
thankfully.
matter how bad it is, the disruption at least has taught us so much. And so I would say thankfully. A lot of us have learned that look, technology, no matter how we look at it, we cannot run away from it. Technology has its bads, it has its, cons. But the point is, we need to know that in this world of technology, where AI and so many other things are about to unfold, as a woman in business, one, don't just be on social media. Be very strategic. That is the word I want you to have at the back of your mind. Be very strategic. We have so many platforms, and some are yet to come. Know where you can sell better. Know where your target is. So if you are with a youthful target, know that Facebook, Instagram, these young people really love these two platforms. TikTok. So focus on where your target audience are and sell to them. In selling to them, not just put informations across. Look, there are so many ways we can learn. Coursera is there, Udemy is there, free courses. Just learn how to write content creation. You don't need to say, I don't have money, so I cannot pay a social media manager to manage my. You can learn.
Mm.
There are so many ways to learn now, and you don't have an excuse. So technology is teaching us that look, in the next 5 years, AI is going to take over, and a lot of our businesses will be done by robots. So, how am I able to think and say that, okay, Genevieve, today I do coaching sessions by chatting with my students? How can I now have a robot Genevieve who is doing all the talk and they are still feeling that it is still Genevieve having these interactions with them?
We're
So,
there
you see,
already.
and one of the things I want to say is that, and that is one of the reasons why we need a lot of women in STEM. We need a lot of women to go into technology and not just go and learn, but be in decision making so that women can adapt what we feel, how we want to sell it in these robots, so that we would get the kind of feel, because you see, diversity makes it beautiful. When a lot of robots are being created by men, we would have
They
a
will
very
all think like
static way,
men.
Ali. But when we get
They will
diversity,
all think like men and act like men. So you're right. We need some female input there.
and so in technology and doing business, what I want to say is that think 10, 20 years from today, there is going to be another wave. I don't know what wave is going to be, but it looks like we're in the generation of disruptions. So many things are going to happen. So ask yourself, whereas then banks, where there's so people giving credit, today, mobile money, network companies are giving money, isn't it? Now you can get cash from MTN. You can get cash from different systems are being brought on board. So you cannot afford to be a woman in business who wants to sustain your business and not be technologically savvy. Aside this, learn how to work with collaborative tools. There are so many other tools apart from Zoom. Today we are using StreamYard. Tomorrow another level will come. Initially it was Skype that everybody knew. Today there is Zoom, there is LinkedIn Live, there is Facebook Live,
Google Meet.
so many, Google Meet, so many. So let's have a learning spirit. Let's have the spirit of wanting to learn not just from ourselves, but also there are opportunities out there on different course platforms that you can learn from. So let's know that technology is taking over and we cannot be left behind. We need to move with the space, or we need to move with the pace at which technology is going, so that we can continue to be in business and not become obsolete. That's how I want you to see it this morning.
Thank you. You know, when you said obsolete, my head just said dinosaurs. Oh wow, this has been a very stimulating conversation, I must tell you. And frankly, this is not the time for a woman to sit on the fence and say, I don't know technology, I can't do technology, or even go spiritual on technology and say, oh, it is 666 or it is 777. No. Technology is a tool. Technology is a tool that we have to use to make our lives better and get things done faster.
Easier.
If you need to pray, pray, but please go ahead and embrace technology. You will learn very many new things. I always feel that it will be so sad to be locked out of something in this earth just because you refuse to get the knowledge that you should have.
Exactly.
And the way it is now, the children are never always at home to come and help you out. I mean, come on, all of us are
They're
doing
busy with their lives.
exactly. And this Gen Z, they like their life more than anything else. So we have to learn how to do the internet banking, the mobile banking. We need to know all of that, all of this. In fact, my own summation of this stuff is that getting learning on a daily basis helps you to build resilience.
That's
Because
it.
if you know something and you know something, then it takes away fear from
You
you. It
become
takes away
confident.
uncertainty because you act in knowledge. You act in what I call the light. You act
Exactly.
having weighed all your everything in balance, and then you take informed decision. So that's the way I know that you build resilience. And I'm really very glad that Genevieve has come back here today to say to us, you've got to learn, you've got to learn, you've got to learn. And then as you're learning, you're cross applying. Genevieve, I was going to close by asking you, um, if there are any trends that you see in the nearest future that might disrupt us some more, but you already started talking about it that something is going to come in another 10 years, but we don't know
I
what.
don't know. I'm just guessing.
Exactly. Because
And I'm
honestly,
just being futuristic minded.
I'm not even sure that a lot of people realize that what happened with COVID is a disruption. So, and after COVID, it looked really very bad, but the whole world is moving upwards.
That's
And
it.
that's what I said from the beginning when we started this series on the first Wednesday in November. I said, did anybody or has anybody ever noticed the up in disrupt?
Mm,
When you
mm.
disrupt yourself by yourself in expectation of some things, you end up going
Ah,
upward.
exactly.
Yes. So I'm hoping that this conversation today would have made all those who are still sitting on the fence to say to themselves, no, I'm not going to go into
Mm,
2024
mm,
the same old person. I'm not going to go into 2024 pouring new wine into the same
mm.
old wine skin.
Because I'll get a
And there's
different
something
result.
exactly. There's something that says that a mind that is once expanded can never
Mm,
go back to being the same. And
mm,
so I hope that today Genevieve has filled our mind and it has expanded, and that we're all going to go out there and ask ourselves, what do we need to know that we don't know?
mm.
Because that's really what's keeping us down. What you need to know that you don't know is the reason why we're not moving forward. You
Exactly.
know. So yeah, I must really thank you for your time and ask you to please give us your closing remark and charge us to just keep being resilient. We should not just be okay to shut down our businesses. We should
Mm,
try again. There are different ways to go. We should be like the stream. If we hit a
mm,
rock, we redirect. We
mm.
hit a rock, we redirect. And so we can't just shut down. I think the reason why we shut down is because we actually started for sustainability,
Mm,
daily sustenance. But if we're looking at things that will transcend us, businesses that will outlive us, businesses that will be part of history in the future, then we can't shut down.
not at all.
We Oh, someone says this has been their best episode of the disruption series, and we're not even done yet. Oh my goodness, Genevieve, you did it. Up
Great.
you, up you, up
Thank
you.
you so much. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's it's always a pleasure to share knowledge. There is no point knowing it and keeping it to yourself. So we all
Yeah.
have to I'll say we all have to cultivate the habit of sharing knowledge. So in closing, what I will say is that action, a few call to action. Ensure that as a woman in business, collaboration is one of the key words you don't have to forget. Join valuable networks. Ensure that you are learning and also developing your team members, capacity building. Also remember that whenever you are in the state of confusion, after a setback, after a challenge, there is a practice that I do and I'm going to share with you.
Mhm.
I call it the PASS, PASS, plan or strategy.
PASS plan.
Yes, so pass, as
Somebody
in
please put that in the comments for
pass,
us. Yes.
as in passing something. You know, you pass a
Mm-hmm.
test or something. And the first P,
Oh.
you practice a mind or a body exercise or a
Mm-hmm.
technique. So, you know, some of us love to meditate a lot. Some of us are into yoga and all that. Whatever you are into, that's like practicing with the mind. Keeping, I would use the word keeping a growth mindset, going away from all negative thoughts and telling yourself that I am down today, but I need to rise up tomorrow and move beyond that. Exercise also helps me a lot. I know what brings me alive. So when I take my bath therapy, I become okay. So know what brings you back to normal. Practice things that brings you back to normal, using the mind and then the body. The second one is two, accepting that, look, I am not perfect. I can make mistakes. But let me go beyond the mistake. Constant, they say what? Change is the only constant by Heraclitus. So remember that, look, this is me today. I have made some mistakes. Yes. I have made some bad business decisions, but I don't need to stay there forever. Accept that this is a challenge, but I can go beyond it. It's an experience. I don't even want to use the word challenge. It's an experience. Maybe it's a bad experience, but out of the bad, good comes. COVID brought about the silver lining for a lot of people. Myself, that is when I did my doctorate. That is when I started the Wives Network in Ghana, a women's network group. That is why I started the Young Leaders Club for children like age 5 to like 12 years. I wrote my first book, The Jigsaw Effect of Leaders. So whereas people were inside their room crying, I was using the time to do other things. So disruptions can make you have a silver lining. It depends on how you approach it. The next one, which is the next C, is socialize with the best of the best. When I say socialize with
Mm.
the best of the best, join valuable networks, join groups that are positive in nature. Positive energy brings us joy. It makes us feel better in the state of confusion. It brings us hope when all is lost. When you speak to somebody who is positive in the mind, it rejuvenates you. It
Iron
gives you some
sharpens
sort of,
iron.
that is it. So socialization is key, but the best of the best. Make sure you are in the right network, not just any. When you see that people are negative in your network, shun away from them. Learn how to say
Please.
no. Yeah, learn how to close some chapters. Learn how to give a closure to some kind of relationship or friendship.
Mm.
The last one is, I'll say, you set an agenda. And what is this agenda? The agenda is for you to tell yourself that, okay, the strategy didn't work. That is why probably this experience took place. However, the next 3 months, this is the plan I have. The next 6 months, this is the plan I have. The next 9 months, this is the plan. So break down, set out a plan, an agenda. If you use the vision board system, perfect. I normally would always go back to my strategy table because, look, things might not go the way we plan, but learn to realign your strategies and set a new agenda to moving forward. Finally, what I would say is that I love this quote. They said, the only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is how we use them. So
Oh,
the only difference between a stumbling block and a stepping stone is the way we use them. So I can see a big rock in front of me. I can decide to let my leg hit it. I can also decide to stand on it to the next level. It depends on how you want to see challenges. So, in all you do, remember that you have all it takes as a woman in business to be financially empowered. Don't give up. You're not alone. We've all been there. We've gone through different phases. And together, when we collaborate and we pull our efforts together as women, and when I'm there and I remember that I need to hold the hand of another person, mentorship, coaching, pull the next young person who is also starting business today to the next level. Tomorrow, we would all have a community of great women where we can pull resources together and become financially empowered, support our men at home, our children, communities, and the world at large. And tomorrow, we'll be sitting on boards where we can also become a voice for other women in business. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, what a wrap. What a wrap this is to the disruption series. What a wrap to the month of November. What a wrap. Thank you so much, Genevieve. You are such an
Anytime.
amazing woman. When I said you were tenacious, I just didn't know how much. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
for your
too.
time.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so much.
much.
So, this is where we're going to wrap up this show today. Women is disruption season. We just gave you a tip of the iceberg over 4 weeks so that you can do what? You can grab it and then run with it. It's not enough that you listen in and then you sit down and then you just say, okay, no, we want you to take action. See, don't stumble, step on it, disrupt yourself, and then evolve and come out on the other side. A better you, a readier you, a more equipped you, who is willing to pay the price for the dreams that you carry on the inside. As I say all the time, your dreams are different from mine. The fact that the dreams are in your heart means that you're equipped to bring them to birth. So please don't shy away. Disrupting yourself allows for both personal and professional growth. And it paves the way for positive change. And the end of the year, the end of one year is a good time for you to, bet new positive changes for yourself and set new realistic goals for yourself going into 2024, which I know is going to be a banging year for every single woman. We are not giving up. We're going to keep trying. We fall 7 times, we get up 14 times. Yes, I've just written that code. So this is the sister's code. We fall 7 times, we get up 14
14
times.
times. That's it.
Yeah,
Times two.
so yeah, so hold on to all you've heard today, marinate on it, and then you can come back to this video over and over. Your friends who are running businesses, please send them this way so they can watch this video and get the knowledge for themselves. And remember, Dr. Genevieve is a world sought after coach.
You can connect with me
So
on LinkedIn,
what I have
especially.
given to you is access. Please don't let it slide by. Make use of it. And remember what she also said, do not abuse it. So don't waste her time, but please go to her with constructive questions. Go to her with stuff so that she can give you the guidance you need. Pay if you need to pay. Get the knowledge you need to have. And then see yourself become bigger and better at everything that you do. Thank you. So this is where we
Thank
wrap today's
you.
edition of Opi with Ezine. It's been another amazing one. Please follow us on Instagram and on Facebook and of course YouTube. Everywhere Opi with Ezine. Get copies of our books and get copies of Dr. Genevieve's book as well. Okay, so get copies of our books, Opi, and when adversity strikes, fight. Thank you. Big up to
Thank you
everyone that is
too.
involved in creating this magic every week. Starting with you, our dear listeners, our followers, our guests, the amazing OPU team. You all stay strong, stay blessed, stay lifted. Remember, it's all about you finding self, finding purpose. And till I come your way next week, you'll be good. Up
Be good.
you, up you, and up you. My name is Edine Kufure Kanem, and it's bye for now.
Bye.